In this podcast, we're going to learn how to name alcohols using the common naming system. All right, so the first step in using the common naming for alcohols is to look at what your longest carbon chain is that has the alcohol. And you're going to take that carbon chain and you're going to name it as an alkyl group. So we'll be using our prefixes that we use for IUPAC naming, such as meth, eth, prop, bute, etc. But we're going to name them with a YL on the end, so methyl, ethyl, propyl. And then we just name the alcohol after it. So it's very similar to how we name alkyl halides. So you're going to name all your carbon atoms as a single alkyl group, and then you add the word alcohol afterwards. All right, so if you remember from our previous podcast, the IUPAC system uses prefixes, and we change the ending to OL. So for example, this first alcohol that we have has one carbon, which is meth. We change that to methanol. In the common naming system, we're going to take the carbon chain that has the hydroxyl group on it, which is 1 carbon long, and we are going to name it as an alkyl group. So this is going to be methyl, and then we just add the word alcohol afterwards. So the common name for a 1 carbon alcohol is methyl alcohol. Doing the next example, we have 2 carbons, which would be ethanol in the IUPAC naming system. For us, we are going to name these 2 carbons as an alkyl group, which is going to be ethyl, and then we just add alcohol. All right, things get a little funky when we start to have multiple options for where that hydroxyl group can bond. So let's look at 1-propanol. In this situation, we have our alkyl group in one big long chain, and we have our hydroxyl group coming off of the first carbon. So we're just going to go ahead and name that as being propyl, naming it as an alkyl group, alcohol. And just add the alcohol to the end of the name there. Now, in 2-propanol, it's a little different. So if we're thinking about the common naming scheme, you have 3 carbons in your longest chain, but how do we designate that that hydroxyl group is coming off of the center carbon or the second carbon and not the first one? And so for common naming, if you have something coming off of that middle carbon, you're going to use the prefix iso. So iso tells us that that hydroxyl group is coming off of the second, so this would be isopropyl alcohol, which you more commonly know this as rubbing alcohol. So the isopropyl will come up fairly frequently. It is a pretty common alcohol for us versus the propyl alcohol. So it's something to keep in mind that when you have 3 carbons and the hydroxyls on the center, you're looking at isopropyl alcohol rather than propyl alcohol.